Hey guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum in Liberty, Kentucky. FredMcCoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day.
This is Jim McCoy's book. This is also a collector's item. There wasn't many of those printed. You know, we done a couple of videos yesterday, and sometimes we make mistakes, and sometimes we take people at their word. And you can't do that, Hatfield McCoy stuff. You can't do that. You can't read a story and think, well, this is the truth. They're telling the truth here, what they're saying. Because there's so many ways that a person can vary away from the truth and still maybe be telling the story. Portraying it. And here's a good example. And you know, I'd read this book years ago. Shit, we've read every book we got down there. We've read them once, twice, some of them 3 or 4 times, especially T.C. Crawford's. T.C. Crawford is a man that was there. He met Devil Anse, he met Cap, he met Good Elias. He met these people. And he's given first-hand knowledge. You know, some people puts T.C. Crawford's book down, and the way he portrayed Devil Anse Hatfield, savages, barbarians, murderers, he called them. Murderer and a liar. Now, that's not Fred McCoy. I know that. I know that from the research Sheila and I have done over the years. We know what Devil Anse was. Most people know what Devil Anse was. But some people has to have a hero, no matter how bad it is, and some people chose him to be their hero, and that's fine. Not much of a hero, or not very high standards on their part, if that's their hero. Sheila done a video the other day on Dr. Henry D. Hatfield. There's you a good hero. There's a hero for somebody. Governor of West Virginia. But anyway, some people put T.C. Crawford down. T.C. Crawford met these people. He was there. T.C. Crawford had no alternative motive to go back to New York and write a bad story on Devil Anse and his family. That he called it like he saw it. Well, he didn't know Devil Anse. He didn't know the family. He interviewed them, talked to them. T.C. Crawford's a very intelligent fella. Very intelligent. He went back and he wrote it like he saw it. He saw a bunch of murderers, a bunch of troublemakers. That's what he saw, especially in Devil Anse and Cap. He saw a good man in Good Elias. He called that right. So, you know, if he went back and talked about all of them or everybody, I'm getting way off the topic here, but it's okay. It's okay. Just make you another video. But, you know, he talks about Good Elias in there, that he met with him, and Good Elias was one of the finest fellows that he had ever met. And so it wasn't like he come in there to just dog all the West Virginia Hatfields. That wasn't his motive. I had a point I was going to make there, and then I got off of it. But guys, what we're going to discuss right now is this Sam McCoy's book. And you know, I was reading this story on the hog trial, and this guy, which I was giving him benefit of the doubt. I thought, well, he's you know, he's been telling the truth here. He's been credible. I don't know. Maybe Sam just didn't put nothing in there. Maybe Sam didn't want nothing about the hog trial. Maybe Sam didn't. But this guy had wrote in his story, he said there was nothing mentioned about the Civil War. He said that Sam contributed to trouble, to the feud, to the hog.
Stealing, yeah.
Now, let's look at this right here. He says the first trouble was the hog. Well, Randolph McCoy and Anse Hatfield, known as Devil Anse, the first trouble was over some hogs owned by Randall McCoy. Now, so he told the truth there. That's what Sam McCoy's book says. The first trouble was over some hogs owned by Randolph McCoy. Sam knew, just like the Hatfields, West Virginia Hatfields knew, and that it was Randolph McCoy's hogs. Randall didn't have a habit of going around accusing people of stealing, but we'll get on by that.
Okay.
That's on page 8 of Sam's book, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what this gentleman puts. Now, if we hadn't went and dug this out of the display case and started reading it, we'd never known this. We would have just took this guy at his word and said, well, okay, Sam must not have mentioned nothing about the hog trial. Well, or about the Civil War. If he's saying the first trouble was the hog that Randall McCoy on. But we went and dug the book out. That's the way Sheila and I have done for 38 years. We do this. Even when we research something, we find something, we say, hey, that can't be right. Let's keep looking and keep digging and digging and digging, and we'll find something else. We went to page 7 of that book. We went to the hog trial. That's what we wanted to look at, was the hog trial. But for some reason, we went one page back. We didn't want to read the whole book again. The first trouble originated in the time of the Civil War. The cause I never learned, but it ended with the killing of Uncle Harmon McCoy at the close of the war. Uncle Harmon, Asa Harmon McCoy, was Sam's uncle. You don't know how it started, the hard feelings. Well, the hard feelings started when Devil Anse deserted. That's the hard feelings between Randall and Devil Anse. That was 1863. That was the hard feelings. It wasn't the feud, but it was definitely hard feelings because Randall McCoy, everybody in that unit was either killed or taken prisoner of war, including my great-great-grandfather, Uriah McCoy. So that was the hard feelings. Now, what started the feud, what started the trouble was the Civil War, and when they killed Asa Harmon McCoy at the close of the war. And then he goes on to talk about how they tracked them. You know, for years there's stories that he tracked Pete.
Just like
He had in Pete, they called him. And Pete was like a member of the family. He was a slave, but he was like a member of the family. He loved them and they loved him. And the story was always that Pete was taking his breakfast to him. Actually, Sam says that Patsy, Asa Harmon's wife, had took the food to him, to the cave where he was hiding. Aunt Patty McCoy, his wife, taking his breakfast the next morning, and had not been back to the house long when Aunts Hatfield and Jim Vance, known as Old Jim Vance, from Grapevine, Logan County, showed up. You know, the day before, he talks about in here, I'm not going to go over it, but that sounds like a McCoy or a Hatfield for that matter, but says that his dad, Daniel, told Asa when he come home from the war, don't stay up there, go somewhere else. The Hatfields and Jim Vance is after you. And he didn't listen. Said like a McCoy, hard-headed McCoy, he didn't listen. And that was from Sam McCoy. So guys, I'm not going to harp on this story. We're going to do some other videos on some other things. But that's why Sheila and I always say, when somebody tells you something, or you read something, or see something, or hear something, or watch something on YouTube or TikTok, question it. Don't be one of these Kool-Aid drinking people on Facebook. Good story. Good history. Thanks. Had we been like that, we would have never went back and read page 7 of the book.
Yeah.
We would have took this person, because it's been years and years since we read this book. And when we read this book, we probably read 20 other books with it. So that's why at this age, I don't like to even get into new material, new stuff, because you can get confused so easy. But I'm glad we went and dug it out. I'm glad we didn't just drink the Kool-Aid. I'm glad we didn't believe what this young man wrote, because that's deceitful. That's deceitful. And he had to read page 7. It's the next page over in front of page 8. It's right there. But yet he says in that story that I read last night, yesterday evening, there was no mention of the Civil War. It was contributed to the stealing of the hog over a pig. That's not right. And that's the same person that posted the picture of Devil Anse on the wrong side of the monument, that knows how that graveyard lies, and knows that Devil Anse is on the high end, which would make him taller than Lavasi, rather than flipping the picture around and making him look like he's at the low end and still that high. I don't know how many people's out there watching or watch these videos or history. Like I said, I know I'm not the best presenter. But the truth's out there if you want to. It doesn't take me to tell you the truth, or Sheila.
Right.
Now, Sheila's the one found this. Don't credit me with it.
We both work on it.
Sheila was wanting to put that book on the thumbnail for a video. So she went and dug it out of the display. I helped her because we've got things locked down. You have to move stuff. So after she got it, she started reading the book. She comes out there a while ago and tells me, said, "You see this? Here we are." So a lot of this stuff, Sheila does a tremendous amount of research. I don't give her enough credit for. I'm just a speaker, but you won't believe the things that she researches.
We're a team, babe.
Well, we are a team, and we're going to be discussing this book some more in a minute.
Okay.
But for this video here, that's going to conclude it. And thanks for joining us. And once again, guys, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to research. Don't be afraid to things that Sheila and I say. Anything. We don't care. We want you to research us. We want you to. If we've made a mistake and it needs to be corrected, daggone it, we'll correct it. Hey, that reminds me, a guy called, he texted, and then he called, and he'll know who I'm talking about if he's watching this video a while back. And he was asking me, he said, in one of your videos, it was a T.C. Crawford video, he said, you mentioned Floyd McCoy. Did you mean Floyd Hatfield? And I couldn't remember at the time. Like I said, my memory's, I'm losing it. So, and it's okay, but went back and watched the video. In fact, I went back and read T.C. Crawford's book. It's in here in the apartment. And no, I meant Floyd McCoy. Floyd McCoy. T.C. Crawford says that Good Elias told him that on the day they stabbed Ellis and Hatfield and shot him, that he shot 5 shots at Floyd McCoy while Floyd McCoy was running away. And he shot 5 shots. He emptied his gun trying to hit Floyd McCoy, but he missed him. So there was actually, according to T.C. Crawford and according to Good Elias, there was actually 4 McCoys that jumped on Ellison that day, if you go by that story. Now, again, while we were up there doing that story the other day on Floyd McCoy up in Catlettsburg, and we were talking about the historical marker where it's talking about Floyd McCoy had dinner with his family and so forth the evening before when the Hatfields come to take him away. Now, you got to watch, because there's books out there and there's stories where people has printed things like that or said things like that. That don't make it true, because it's on that marker doesn't make it true. My point in that is, when I read that marker, was thinking Floyd McCoy had dinner with his brothers, the 3 brothers that they had taken captive and was taken to Pike County Jail. He ate dinner with them that evening while they were prisoners. When Wall Hatfield and the rest of the Hatfield bunch come, Devil Anse and all of them, and took them out of the custody of the constables. Guess who they're saying was there? They're saying that Floyd McCoy was there. Now, Good Elias says that he emptied his gun shooting at Floyd McCoy, because Floyd McCoy was the one that shot Ellis and Hatfield. I wasn't there. We wasn't there. We don't know. We're telling you what the story was. So my point is, common sense, do you think that if Good Elias is telling the truth and they actually shot at Floyd McCoy, that somebody in that gang didn't tell the other one, listen, one of them run away. It was Floyd McCoy. He's the one that shot Ellison. He ran away. If we see him, let's get him. Well, he was there when they showed up. According to that historical marker, Floyd McCoy was eating dinner with his brothers when they showed up, the Hatfields, to take them back to West Virginia. They didn't take Floyd McCoy with them. That's something to think about. But for the gentleman that was asking the question, thinking I was meaning Floyd Hatfield, which is possible. Everybody that knows me knows how I can get confused and the way my little brain works, and especially with dementia setting in. you can tell the difference. So, but I was actually talking about Floyd McCoy in that video. Guys, thanks for joining us. It's Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.